I was just telling her that I've been trying to memorize the dictionary. Okay, and in the old days, you would just like have a real dictionary and it would go through it one page at a time, right? But nowadays, you can just Google a word, right? So, do you have your phone on you?
I do.
Yeah, bring out your phone. We're gonna look up a word. It's probably. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, beautiful. Actually, go ahead and unlock it. Unlock it. And you can go into Safari. Wait, you came all this way. Aaron. Aaron. Okay, go for it. Yeah, just go ahead into Safari, you know. And then once you go into Safari, you can even go to Google if you like.
Quite the welcoming. I have a drink ready for me.
You got some magic ready. Yuki, your friends are looking out for you. Cool. They are. Oh yeah, beautiful. So essentially, inside of Google, if you were to type in define, all right, and you follow it up with a word, Google gives you obviously the definition, okay? So I've already typed in define. What I want you to do is to think of any word, okay? Could be big word, small, you already got a word. Okay, beautiful. All you do is you type it in, you hit search, and obviously Google will give you the definition. No, here, watch, okay? Don't show this to anybody. This is only for you. All right, go for it. Yuki needs to have some refreshment. Okay, go for it. You got a word in mind already?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead. Type it in. Hit search. I won't look. Don't make the camera look.
It's like a Buddhist symbol. If you're Buddhist, it also means
Wait. So you're gonna get a tattoo?
Yeah, I got one.
You'll get a pelican, man. Get a pelican, dude. Nothing's more New Orleans like a pelican.
Well, start talking about like tattoo once you get the real one. So we can, like,
Did you already search for it?
Yeah, I pushed search.
You did? Okay. Is it already showing you the definition?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yuki, what I want you to do is just to read to me only 2 words from the definition.
But there's only 3 words in the whole definition.
Oh, there's only 3 words in the whole definition? Okay, read to me only 1 word from the definition, but please don't make it obvious.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Uncontrollably.
Oh man, you picked a hard word. Okay, hold on. You said Okay, put your phone away. Put your phone away. Okay, hold my hand for a second. Hold my hand just like this. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay, think of the first letter of your word. Okay.
Okay.
Think of the first letter.
Okay.
Okay, it's either at the beginning of the alphabet or at the end of the alphabet. I'm getting a feeling as I pulled it said close to the end of the alphabet. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, it's close to the end of the alphabet. So I'm going to go through it really quickly. Here we go. PQRSTUV, QRSTUVWX, QRST. I felt that right on either the R or the S or the T. I'm going to guess it's an R. Is it R? Really? The first letter is an R?
Yeah.
Okay. R.
What the
Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yuki, there is no way that I can know your word. All I know is I properly guessed that it starts with a letter R. Right? Are you ready?
Okay.
Please don't freak out. Your word is rambunctiously. Rambunctiously.
Crazy. That is crazy. Okay.
How'd you do it?
Did I actually get that right?
Yes, I was just FaceTiming
Yes!
with my niece, and that was one of her vocabulary words this week.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I chose that word. It was like, there's no fucking way he's gonna guess that word.
How'd you do
What
it?
the
Show us. How'd you do it?
Oh my god.
Did you say you're a type A personality?
Hello. I would like to give everyone a beat-by-beat breakdown of this particular performance, just to be able to help some of the current users of Inject see the psychology that I use to be able to perform Inject in a way where the technology is necessitated, and also to be able to hide the method as much as possible, and in general to provide a really engaging and fun performance. So here we go.
Yeah, I was just telling her that I've been trying to memorize the dictionary.
All right. So the routine or the trick starts out with the emotional hook, which I think every magic effect should have a very powerful emotional hook that just from the first line brings the audience into the performance and establishes something that's interesting for the audience to listen to or to watch.
And in the old days, you would just like have a real dictionary and it would go through it one page at a time, right? But nowadays, you can just Google a word.
All right. So now I'm establishing why it's important that we should look up a word in Google, because if there was really a paper dictionary here, then of course all I would do is just have them use a paper dictionary. But obviously in this day and age, nobody really has a paper dictionary.
So do you have your phone on you?
I do.
Yeah, bring out your phone. We're going to look up a word.
All right. So at this point, I'm inviting the spectator actually to bring out her phone. Essentially, it's subconsciously that tells the spectator that I don't have my phone, or I actually can't use my phone for whatever reason, and for whatever reason we need to use her phone. An important word to keep a note over here is how I say we're going to look up a word. I don't say that she is going to look up a word or I'm going to look up a word. The word we makes it somewhat ambiguous, and at the present time, she really doesn't know what's about to happen. Okay, so now watch what happens almost all the time when I perform this effect.
It's probably...
This whole thing, I don't have Snapchat.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, beautiful. Actually, go ahead and unlock it. Unlock it. And you can go into Safari. Wait, you came all this...
All right, so now she brings out her phone and she goes ahead and she unlocks it. And at this point, it's really, really important for me to take note of what kind of phone she has. So if I see that she's bringing out some kind of an iPhone, then I'm going to ask her to launch Safari. Or if she's going to bring out an Android, I ask her to launch any of the other browsers that are on Android, preferably the Chrome browser, which is the most common browser on Androids. And the fact that I'm having her unlock the phone before she gives it to me just is a courtesy, because if she has anything private on her phone, she can essentially see it on her screen before she hands it over to me.
Hey! Aaron! 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 Okay, go for it. Yeah, just go ahead into Safari, you know.
All right. At this point, there was somebody else that was walking by, and I want to do everything in my power to keep this phase of the trick lighthearted, because there is really nothing magical that's about to happen. You know, there is no effect here. So all of this is should be downplayed as much as possible, and just to keep it light and fun. And that's why just seeing somebody walking by and for me to say hi to them is going to guarantee that I'm going to keep it fun.
And then once you go into Safari, you can even go to Google if you like.
Quite the welcoming. I have a drink ready for me.
You got some magic ready. Yuki, your friends are looking out for you. They are. Oh, yeah, beautiful. So essentially...
Right. So now this is one of the most important aspects of performing Inject, where you have asked your spectator actually to go to Google.com. Now, in her particular case, she was already on Google.com, which meant that all I had to do now is just simply proceed from there.
Out of Google, if you were to type in define.
Okay. So here's another very important subtlety about performing Inject. The first thing that happened was that I actually tapped into the regular search field of Google. And I usually do this right in front of everybody, because I'm essentially trying to show them that I'm about to search for something in Google. So obviously you would search or tap in the search field of Google. And now I tell her that the way that I'm going to use Google, or a feature of Google, is by typing the word define. And here is where I kind of slowly dictate define, as essentially I'm typing that in to the keyboard.
And you follow it up with a word. Google gives you, obviously, the definition, okay? So I've already typed in define. What I want you to do is to...
Okay, so at this point, she believes that I have typed the word define into Google, because that's what I've said that what I'm doing. And the moment that I turn the phone around, she could see that the keyboard is still up, and the word define is what I've just typed in, and I put a space right after it. And right now with my finger, I'm pointing at the keyboard. So I'm asking her just to think of any word type it in, hit search, and you'll see that, based on the graphic that's on the screen, the keyboard that is presented in Inject is identical in every way to the keyboard that's presented when you do a Google search. So in her mind, nothing weird has happened yet. I've told her that we're just going to use this particular feature in Google to look up the definition of a word.
Think of any word, okay? Could be big word, small. You already got a word. Okay, beautiful. All you do is you type it in, you hit search, and obviously Google will give you the definition.
Okay, so at this point, I really want to make sure that I walk her through exactly what's going to happen. I already know that she knows how to use Google, so in circumstances where people are being told what to do by a magician, sometimes people don't exactly know how to act. So kind of like by taking them through it step by step, it really clarifies exactly what they're supposed to do. And it's also important in that your spectator is following your directions when you ask him to do this right now.
No. Here, watch, okay? Don't show this to anybody. This is only for you. All right, go for it. Yuki needs to have some refreshment. Okay, go for it. You got a word in mind already?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's another point of subtlety that's really, really important. I'm only going to hand her phone back to her when I know that she says that she already has a word in mind. This is very, very important because I want her to be only focused on what she's going to be typing into the Google search, and for her not to be kind of like wandering around trying to see other things that might be going on. And this little bit of time misdirection is really important, and it also establishes that your spectator really has just thought of a word before you actually hand her phone back to her.
Type it in, hit search. I won't look. Don't make the camera look.
Okay, now at this point, her friend that's sitting opposite the table is trying to make things difficult for me. So she's telling her to be really careful that the camera doesn't see what she's typing, or Titanus, which is sitting next to her, doesn't see what she's typing. And so essentially, she's going to be careful to hold the phone in a way where nobody can see what she's typing. Now, this is a really, really important aspect of performing Inject. Right now, everybody is focused on what she's doing as she's typing in any word into Google. Even though I'm standing really, really far away, nobody cares about what I'm doing because I'm essentially acting like I don't want to see what she's typing, and they can see that I've stood really far away, so they know that there's no way that I can peek at her phone.
Wait, so you're gonna get a tattoo?
Okay, so at this point, her friend even tells her to spell it incorrectly, and even though she doesn't intentionally try to spell it incorrectly, she actually does spell it incorrectly. But the nice thing about Inject is, because it does end up having the results in the real Google, Google does actually correct a misspelled word as it's looking up the definition, which further helps sell the fact that she's just simply looking up a word in Google.
Yeah, I got one.
You get a pelican, man. Get a pelican, dude. Nothing's more normal than like a pelican.
Well, start talking about like tattoo once you get the real one. Or we can like.
Okay, here's another really, really important subtlety. The moment that she presses search to have Google come up with the definition of the word, I now already know the word that she's thinking of. But I don't make a movement. I don't change how, I don't turn back around, because normally if I couldn't see, if I had no input, I wouldn't know if she's done or not. So essentially I have to wait until she calls me back. She says, hey, I'm already done. I already hit search. So this is another really important subtlety to keep in mind.
Did you already search for it?
Yeah, I pushed
You did? Okay. Is it already showing you the definition?
yes.
Okay, perfect. Yuki, what I want you to do is just to read to me only 2 words from the definition.
Okay, here's the justification as to why you're using Google, because the premise that you've originally established is that you've memorized the dictionary. So you need a dictionary to look up a definition, and hence you're going to kind of do like a reverse dictionary lookup in your mind using your superhuman memory powers. So that's why I'm asking her to read to me just 2 words from the definition. Now, keep in mind, I already know the word that she has looked up.
There's only 3 words in the whole definition.
Oh, there's only 3 words in the whole definition? Okay, read to me only 1 word from the definition, but please don't make it obvious.
Okay. So she surprises me now by telling me that there is only 3 words in the definition, and I'm just going to roll with the punches, and I'm saying, okay, well, if 2 words is too many, then just read 1 of them. And once again, I remind her, just make it a word that's not too obvious, you know. So she's now going to do everything in her power to read to me a word that's not going to really give it away, you know. So this further is solidifying the plot of how I'm going to use some kind of a memory tactic to figure out what word she's thinking of.
Okay, go ahead.
Uncontrollably.
Oh man, you picked a hard word.
Okay. Regardless of what word she says, I always say the same line. You picked a hard word. And I usually follow it up by saying that there's a lot of words in the dictionary where the word uncontrollably is in the definition. So essentially, I'm trying to make it seem like this is more difficult for me than what's really happening.
Okay, hold on. You said Okay, put your phone away. Put your phone away.
Okay. Super important subtlety in performing Inject. She already has read the definition. She obviously already knows what the word is. I now take the element of technology completely out. So that's why I ask her to completely put the phone away. So out of sight, out of mind is a really important aspect of every performance. So what's about to happen next is we're going to take all of the emotional niceties and the emotional lows that we had, where everything just seemed very normal and nonchalant and everyday, and now we're going to intensify it with the real magic that's about to happen. But the magic's going to happen without her phone being even present.
Okay, hold my hand for a second. Hold my hand just like this. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay, think of the first letter of your word, okay?
Okay, so here's where things get intense, where I'm making a physical contact with her and I'm looking at her straight in the eyes. So as a performance tactic, she recognizes that now the magic is about to happen. Okay, that I'm using some kind of like a biofeedback from her or any kind of subtle micro movements from her to try to get a hint as to what word she's thinking of. And so this is where the performance is beginning to crescendo.
Okay.
Think of the first letter.
Okay.
Okay, it's either at the beginning of the alphabet or at the end of the alphabet. I'm getting a feeling as I pulled it said close to the end of the alphabet. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, it's close to the end of the alphabet.
Okay, this fast pacing right now is really, really important too, because not only because I want to be able to provide a really fast routine for her and not make it long-winded, I'm trying to make it so that there's these feelings that I'm getting, or kind of like these quick beats that are going through me. And every time I tug at her hand, it's this jolt of emotion that's helping me, kind of like narrow down what's really in her mind.
I'm going to go through it really quickly. Here we go. P-Q-R-S-T-U-V, Q-R-S-T-U-V-W-X, Q-R-S-T. I felt it right on either the R or the S or the T. I'm going to guess it's an R. Is it R? Really? The first letter is an R?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, I already know what the word is, right? So all of this acting is important, and it's also helping build up the effect. So we're just going to milk every emotional beat that we can get from it. So by not just simply revealing the word to her, it's going to make it more exciting for her until she thinks that there's really no way that I can know what her word is. So by first figuring out that, okay, I know that the word uncontrollably is in the definition, and then the letter R is the first letter that it starts with, and I'm surprised by that I can really read that from her hand, and so now we just proceed to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, R.
What the
Okay,
fuck?
okay, hold on. Okay, Yuki, there is no way that I can know your word. All I know is I properly guessed that it starts with a letter R, right? Are you ready?
Okay.
Please don't freak out. Your word is rambunctiously. Rambunctiously.
Crazy. That is crazy. Okay.
How'd you do it? How'd you do it?
Did I actually get that right?
Yes, I was just FaceTiming
Yes!
with my niece, and that was one of her vocabulary words this week.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
chose that word. It was like, there's no fucking way he's gonna guess that word.